Today we're gonna infect every cave from Alex's cave with the Moss Overgrowth, and seeing how big it can get and how not laggy it is, I'm not gonna be surprised if we can cover this whole cave in moss. Well, this one's not gonna be a lot of change since it's already covered in moss, but right behind me there's a Luxtractosaurus, so once it's covered in moss, we're gonna unleash the Luxtractosaurus on the moss and see it getting probably destroyed. And also, let's see how the mobs from the cave react to the Moss Overgrowth. Also, unfortunately, we're not going to have the light since it's changed the biome. Oh, that's right. That means that most mobs from the caves will stop to spawn once the biome reach them. And we also have the advanced phase, so once the moss reach a high enough points, we are going to advance to make sure that they spread even faster. They don't seem to attack the mobs from here because they're not hostile. These guys are neutrals. Their health bar is green, so they're living together. So let's wait and infect this biome, and we'll be back once this whole place is infected. All right. Alright, most of the biome is now moss, so we've passed from a lush cave to an even lushier cave. And with the green tint of the new biome, it looks kinda good. This was our volcano, it is now moss. So in order to summon the Luxtractosaurus, we'll have to do a little bit of digging. Here we go, let's throw that in. This should, there we go. It works, and it's popping out of the volcano. Well, the Mossano, Volcamoss. Anyway, it's here, and my god, that took a long time. What the heck was that? What else now? Where's the Lux? Where's the Lux? It's here? Excuse me? Okay, the game is starting to lag. Oh, I can feel it. But it's getting attacked by the local animals and not the mossy mobs. And it just, oh my god, what? Where is it going? It just leveled like 30 blocks. Yeah, these guys are like stuck around the core, which is somewhere within this massive jungle of moss. All right, there we go. There's the mobs. Okay, the mix of the mods doesn't like it right now. Anyway, nothing much is happening. Let's use the order reinforce. Ah, there we go. We have some people now, and they're somehow not attacking the Luxtractosaurus. Why? Anyway, let's move on to the magnetic caves. And this place is gonna be very different, I hope. Everything here is dark, gray, metallic, while the moss, well, is alive and green and bright. And we will actually have some resistance from the biome and not just coexisting. These guys are hostile, usually, so my little bees and mossy cow will do something. All right, they are hostile, which means, yep, there we go. These guys are gonna be a threat for the moss if they stay, like, in the air, although they have nothing to destroy the biome or the infection. So all we need to do now is wait and see this whole place become moss. The funny part is that these magnetron are part of moss now, because they actually take blocks from their environment, and it's dead. Wow, that was fast. Alright, so the moss doesn't seem to want to spread more than what it's actually confined in. I actually placed another core here, and I think the biggest problem with spreading the moss inside a cave is that, well, it wants to escape outside. Yep, the whole area here is the moss biome. Look at that, it's been here for a while now. I don't exactly know how long, probably an hour, and it's all moss outside but not inside. And one of the things that I don't actually like about the mod is it produces way too many of these like moss pillar. We cannot see anything. If only it would just do some simple one and maybe a few trees, but it is overwhelming, and also these are so ugly. But anyway, I'm not here to complain about the look. I'm here to infect Alex's cave, and as we can see, we kind of did it. All the mobs are dead, and since it's not the magnetic cave anymore, in here it's the Moss Overgrowth biome, there's no mob that spawn. So that means that we're already changing to... Wait, before we leave, I actually wanted to see what happened if we remove all the moss from the biome. And as you can see, there's still, well, a few stuff left, but what's surprising is that there's a lot of like ghost block. If I right click these normal moss block that I removed, it's turning back into Galena. I guess it like updates for the server, but not for my client. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I'm not like an expert with that, so I might just say wrong thing, but that's what I think it is. So let's see outside what it looks like. Oh, wait, wait, what? Look at what? It just converted like tunnels of moss. And let's go see outside. It looks like the Witherstorm like tore through the world. Anyway, let's truly move on to the Forlorn Hollow. And I forgot to press record. And now we have a Forsaken. And the Moss is already here. He's already fighting. I am dumb. This guy will die pretty soon. Because he's fighting in the middle of like everything right now. I don't have high hopes for this Forsaken. Well, this fast forward the video a bit, and these guys really love to suffocate in their own block. It's their favorite pastime. So to make things more quickly, we are going to add a second core right here. All right, we already have some like tunnels that goes to the top, which mean it's gonna take a while for it to convert the whole biome into moss because the moss is spreading on top. There is nothing really I can do about that, so I guess we'll have both infection at the same time. But look at that, it's so green. Anyway, let's wait and see what happens when this whole place gets infected by the moss. Okay, well, this didn't take a while with the help of the super order spread, and unfortunately when we advance the phase, these things spread and make platforms, so I had to put the tick rate to 0, and now they won't like cover the whole biome with just platform. We can actually see what the heck is going on. I really don't like these platforms. They like cover everything and we cannot see a single thing. But other than that, they spread pretty much everywhere on the ground level. They have a really hard time to climb. As we can see, most of the walls and especially the roof is absolutely devoid of moss, except like some column that will actually bring them up to the surface. Holy crap. Look at that. Okay, this one is a bit less impressive than the magnetic one because we spend a bit less time, but that's what I'm talking about with the platform. This is a bit too intrusive, but I think it's going to be interesting in my 100 days with no players video that I'm going to do with the moss if we let this go for 100 days. Well, are they going to reach the build limit? Because they tend to like build on top of another, like this one here. I don't know. We'll see that in another video. It's time to move on to... Okay, so my Minecraft ran out of memory and prompted me to go to the title screen while saving my replay, and now it's suddenly spinning like crazy. I have no idea what's going on right now, but I'm getting dizzy. I'm gonna stop. Oh my god. And we're now in the abyssal biome, and I have no idea how this one's gonna work. Let's see if we can even infect at all, because the infectors are mobs, don't forget that. So will they float? Will they infect? Let's see. Okay, they are not affected by water. That's great, which means this place will become mossy. I have no idea what's gonna happen with all the other mobs that spawn here, but that's not the point. I see that there's a... What is that? A moss blubber. What? Does it give water breathing? No, it does not. I have no idea. It's the first time I've seen this block. I think it's another water block. At least the stalk are water loggable. All right, so we'll just let it spread and see what's gonna happen. All right, we're back. Also, what is going on with the fish? Why are they all spinning? What is going on? Anyway, the place managed to get at least infected. Wow, the wall here is fully infected. That is crazy. Look at that. And the only thing that can spawn are fish. Well, spinning fishes. And as you can see here, these guys, I don't know what the heck is happening, but I'm pretty sure if I right click, yep, they are not truly here. They're ghosts. This place is haunted. Look at that. Give us a sign. Anyway, this is a success. It is pretty much all infected. I could have let it longer, but I think it's enough. Look at the structure. It's all infected. And these guys are coexisting with the area. Well, okay, not the drown. And if we go up the cliff, even the normal seabed is mossy. Wow. From outside, that looks really good. Anyway, let's move on to the toxic caves. I don't know how it's gonna react with the acid or with the biome in general, with the radiation, but we're about to find out. So let's plop this thing around here. Whoop. Here we go. And now it's gonna spread. We are at the edge of the biome, but it's the only like large area I could find. And let's use a super order spread, just like That's gonna spawn one of these mossy spider, and suddenly we're gonna have a bunch of spreader. What the heck? All right, I think we have a proof here. The moss can infect the acid. Yep, look at that. That makes no sense, but it's turning a liquid into moss. Acid, that is, not just any liquid. We're gonna let them infect, but we'll wake them up with a little surprise. All right, I think we should stop here. The infection, it is pretty much everywhere right now. Well, almost. But most of the acid is now, yep, moss. So it's like a frozen river, but instead of ice, it's moss. I don't understand why, but there is no mobs at all. I'm still in the same world as we did with the Abyssal Chasm. That's the first time I do this. I usually start a new world, and I think it's why there's no mobs. I think the moss can only like recognize only one heart. Which is a core, I mean, which is somewhere around here. I don't know, it's covered in moss, but that might explain why there's no mobs. Maybe there's some mobs at the surface? No. Nothing. And that's a normal pig. So yeah, if you infect a place with the core, there can only be one place where mobs spawn, and it's near the original core you placed. Anyway, it's time to blow stuff up. So let's go right here. Let's summon a bunch of mobs. Oh my god. Hi guys. You're about to die. Yes, and of course we have the siren. It hasn't been converted into moss, I guess. Where is it? Oh my god, it's so loud. Here we go. They're all dead. Oh my god. It is a bit laggy, and I don't see the core. It might be destroyed. No, it's here. It is here. The core is not destroyed, or it's right outside the range of the nuke. Well, there's one thing left to do. It's just try to blow it up again. There we go. Ooh, I haven't seen the bottom yet. Look at that texture. And it's still here, intact. I guess if you play with this mod, your core is really safe. So anyway, there's one last case we need to go, and it is the candy cavity. And this is a pretty small one. We can see the normal wall all around. So we're about in the center here. Let's start the infection right here. We are in a new world, which means mobs should spawn now. Yep, there we go. We got an ocelot. No, sorry, a mossalot. Oh, there we go. Hi, hello. And it's gone. The soda is also turning into moss, and the moss already found its way, probably outside. We'll see about that in a moment. For now, yeah, there's no moss outside. This is so weird. And it's dying, of course. It's weird because the gumworm doesn't attack you in survival. Oh, that gumworm will probably die. Yep, there we go. That was fast. I guess the gumworm counted as an hostile mob for some reason, except the gummy bear. Alright, I think that's enough of the candy cavity turned into a moss biome. All we can see here is this giant lollipop. Everything else is moss. We can, like, if we look like this, well, we don't even know it was the candy cavity. We have to, like, go a bit further to see that, there we go, this place is still clean, but it's slowly moving towards this way. One of the reasons I do these videos is because I really enjoy just transforming an area into another. And one thing I don't really like with the moss is that we cannot recognize what once was the biome or dimension or area that was before. This is why I love so much the Skulk, is because you still keep the environment, but you change the whole biome. But now it's just this everywhere. It doesn't matter which biome or dimension you transform, it's all gonna look like the same thing. So I hope you still enjoyed. I had fun anyway. After all, I do this for fun, and so I hope you share the same enjoyment that I do as doing these silly things that have no meaning. Hi, slime. So make sure you subscribe for more silly stuff like that, or more infection, or more showcase. I do a lot of this channel. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.